This video is about load cells and little modules like the HX711 module that can interface your load cell to Arduino or whatever you want, but in this case it's interfaced into this very cheap module that will instantly convert a simple platform of your choice into a set of precision weighing scales. So let me show you the principle of this little unit, noting that I got two of these. I ordered one as a pre-assembled unit, thinking that's never going to survive getting through the postal service. I was right, it did not survive going through the postal service. That's fine. I also ordered a kit version, so I was able to swap the broken components out. But the gist is this. The device uses what are called load cells. These are a piece of steel with a couple of holes drilled in them, and the size of the hole depends on the rating, because each has its own sort of weight range from 1 kilogram, 10 kilogram, 20 kilogram, as you can see on the side here. You support it onto a base at one end and you put the weighing platter at the other end, and then when you put weight in it, it deflects it down tinily. It's just a tiny amount, it's just this fractional movement. But in this area with pink here are what they call strain gauges, which are little resistors that when they're stretched change in resistance, and there's two on each side. It's a very tiny change of resistance, but by clever electronic magic with this dedicated chip down here, it converts it into a numerical value that can be scaled up and then used for the weight. So here's the base, it's positioned at one end, and here's the weighing platter, and it's on the other end. So as I press this down, it is deflecting that metal. Excellent. Right. So the module connected to it is monitoring that, and then it's got 4 wires over to this module, 0 volts, plus 5 volts, and then data and clock. And this module is where all the magic happens. I'm going to zoom down this so you can actually see this, and I'll show you what happens when you first power it up. Because as powered up, it won't instantly display the weight properly. So I'm powering this from a little USB power supply here. I power it up, and when you do first power it up, it won't be displaying 0. It will be responding to being touched, but it's not displaying 0. That's easy to fix. This is the 3-button version. Just press the left-hand button, and now it has calibrated 0 and stored it to internal memory. Now, take a reference weight, an accurate reference weight. This is 50 gram, and it will display a nonsensical weight, 44 grams in this instance. And we have to then use these 2 buttons here to calibrate that. And to do that, it's just a pre-scaler it's applying. So if I press down, by say, I fast forward a wee bit, it whizzes through them for a while, it will show that the weight is much closer to the 50 grams. Now, I've already worked this out because you basically fine-tune it. You go see how many clicks past the weight you want it is, and then the other direction, then you go right in the middle of that. So I found 684 was about right. And that's it. The unit is now calibrated. Here's the 50 gram weight, displaying 50 grams. Here's a 20 gram weight, displaying 20 grams. 10 gram weight, and a 5 gram weight. So, what if we put the 20 and the 2 10s, and the 20s, 50, 20 and 2 10s, there's the 100 grams. Will it actually resolve the little dinky 5 gram weight? Yes, it will. So you've now got your accurate scales. If you then unplug the unit, and then plug it back in again, it does its little boot up display thing. Then it displays 0, and it's stored your settings. That's you got your scales. That was as easy as it was to make your scales on any platform whatsoever. Right, now I've shown you how to set it up. Let me give you some more information about these strain gauges. I'll just set that up now. So we'll start by looking at some of these load cells. And the difference between them, the 1 kilogram, 10 kilogram, 20 kilograms, is simply the size of the hole. And that just limits the flexing of this metal. Ultimately, they're identical units, it's just purely the hole size difference. Because in the case of the 20 kilogram, it's going to take an awful lot more weight on this end to actually cause this to deflect as much as it would if it was the lightweight 1 kilogram with the larger holes. The reason there are holes, as opposed to a rectangular cutout, is ultimately that's possibly the cheapest way to make them, just to drill 2 holes in the steel. But also that may affect the way the strain gauge is actually detects that, because the strain gauges are on either side. This, incidentally, down here, this little tiny thing is a strain gauge. Let me give you a close-up of that. I'm going to end up losing that. So here is a close-up of the strain gauge. Doesn't look perfectly crisp because I had to zoom mega style to get this image. But we have a mylar sort of background, and it physically gets glued onto the metalwork. And this is a resistor, zigzagging backwards and forwards. And as the metal deflects and just stretches this, and it just sounds so crude, but it works. It stretches this, that resistance changes very, very slightly. And because of the arrangement, it can convert that to a number that's representative of the weight. Now, let me show you that. To show you that what's on the side of these strain gauges, I removed the silicone off one of them. And it was quite hard to get it off cleanly. I didn't remove it all because it would have destroyed the whole thing completely. But this is what's on the side, on both sides of that. It's a dual strain gauge. It's got a centre pad, and then on either side it's got 1 kilo ohm. A 1 kilo ohm zigzaggy resistor here going to this pad, and then a 1 kilo ohm zigzag resistor going to this pad. And to be honest, if I deflected that now and measured across it, I couldn't really detect much of a resistance change, but it is enough for this sensing system to pick up. So let me bring in some data about the little chip that processes that. And it is this chip. It's the HX711. It's doing all the dirty work. Really, it does everything. You don't have to worry about filtering or anything like that. Well, you do to a degree. But it's doing all the conversion of that detected weight into a figure that it then transmits back as a data and clock signal to the device that's actually reading it. And these modules, they're very cheap. You buy one of these load cells for like $2 or something like that, and they throw in the little control chip that converts it. It's so cheap. But what we have here, we have the supply here, noting that these red earth symbols, they're actually what it's representing negative. This is the positive, so a filter capacitor, but then it's generating it's got an external transistor. I don't know why this is, but they've got the external transistor to act as a voltage regulator, which provides a very precise voltage out to that load cell. And that voltage is monitored by this resistive divider, which I would guess sets the feedback to that resistor, and ultimately, transistor should I say, and ultimately sets the voltage. It says it can be tuned between 2.6 to 5.2 volts, assuming you've got that going in the first place. The feedback from the Wheatstone bridge, because one end is connected to that positive supply, one end is connected to the negative, and I'll show you in a moment what the Wheatstone bridge type arrangement looks like. But it's to signals come back via resistors, bit of filtering just to take any noise away, because excess noise would make the readings waver about. You need a good stable supply for this. And it goes to this chip. Now, this has 2 inputs. It's quite a capable chip. It's got things that aren't always used. But what it does inside, it's got a gain control that you can program. I think that can be done externally by the software that's communicating the data. But it then scales that down to a very high resolution analog to digital converter and gives a very large number, a 24-bit number, which can then ultimately be scaled to whatever you need. And that goes back to the processor. Let me grab another bit of information here. So this is the inside of that chip, and note there is the full load cell shown this time with the positive to one end, negative to the other, and then the 2 signals going into the filtering. It's a very abbreviated, they're not showing filtering in this. This is just the bare bone connections of this chip. There's a 24-bit analog to digital converter, and there's the gain that comes from this amplifier here, and it buffers that up, but you can set the gain 32, 64, 128. Not really sure. That is probably just a multiplier, a binary. I don't know what other options are there. I've not read the full data sheet in that regard. I'm just being lazy and using that little digital board here to do all the work for me. But then it goes to the digital interface and it just sends the data. When the processor requests data, it just gets its data, and then it can actually use that to determine the weight. Now, there are other interesting things. Let me grab another type of load cell. So this load cell can be used on its own, but you can also use it as a pair, or you can use it as a set of 4. And the particular application for this very common load cell is weighing scales, where each of these pads is on a corner of the scale. And when you stand on it, the resultant weight spread across, it doesn't matter where you are on the scale unless you're really at an extreme angle, as it basically accumulates the 4 points of data, and it provides a resistance value to the scales. But this has 3 connections. It's got a red wire, a yellow and a black wire. The red wire is the common, and it's got one of those dual, where is my little picture of that? It's got one of the little dual cells inside that thing there. And the way it's configured is that it's red to black and red to yellow. So this is one of these things I could tell you how to connect it, but ultimately, when you have this as a project, just go online and you'll find lots of documentation and you can follow it out. But basically speaking, the red wires are all going back to the little module, and then pairs of yellow and pairs of black are connected depending on the position on the square to create that sort of Wheatstone bridge effect. But that is quite, again, these are 1,000 ohms, these little tiny sensors. This one here, this little dinky thing, is 350 ohms, but the other ones on the side of that, each of those has a 1,000 ohm resistance, which is quite surprising, really. It's quite a high value given its tiny size. But that is more or less it. So I shall provide links to these components just in case you want to have a play. This is a good setup to start with, but you can also 3D print designs. Notice it says 1 kilogram. It's got a little arrow pointing down the way to show which way it should go. But you can 3D print a base, or if you've got an existing system, a platen, you can just improvise it yourself. You could have a good heavy steel base, and then the platform of the machine could actually be on the other side of the strain gauge, the load cell, and it would basically weigh the whole platen with everything, the zero being offset to proper zero, no matter the weight of the platen, within reason. And then the sort of, you calibrate it and you'd get a fairly accurate weight on just a platen on a machine. But this is great. There is another module with 4 buttons. I have to explore that more. It looks as though it's more complex and intelligent, but this one is very much designed to go into a cabinet and away from prying fingers, gets calibrated to 0, that pre-scaler set to fine-tune the resistance for the weight, and then just basically tucked out of sight, just so you've got a basic pre-calibrated weighing platform. But that's it. I shall provide links to all these things. They're not that expensive. It's actually worth getting them just to have a play with. But there we have it. As I say, ultimately the bulk of the work is being done by the HX711 chip. It's a ridiculously sophisticated little chip, but ultimately there's so many weighing scales. Everybody's got weighing scales in their home. They're used in factory machines. They're used everywhere. These little modules are just a cheap and easy interface just to play with these and your own experimental setup. It's very, very good.